also that as a nation, we must have a consensus about what jobs are. We must define jobs. There is still the appearance of a notion there that jobs are only in the offices. And that mindset must change. Let me just quickly reinforce that. From this academy, somebody had to make me up. And I was asking her how long she's been doing this business, and she told me, I asked her if she was doing it as a hobby. She said, no, this is her job. But she didn't go to university to study makeup. Incidentally, she's a statistician with a 2-1.
Wow.
But she was telling me as I was talking to her that she earns anything between 200,000, 300,000 a month, and sometimes she doesn't earn anything in a month. So she has to manage what she earns. At the top end of 300,000, you're looking at about 3.6 million thereabouts at the end of the year. So we really need to define what jobs are. This is somebody who has followed her passion. She could have been twiddling her thumb and waiting for jobs as a statistician. So we must understand this. And then the notion also that there can be more than one job. And unfortunately, there are places where the only places where you can get work today is where you want to get your hands dirty. And are we ready to do that? Because we can't light up our country without technicians, and so your hands are going to get dirty. Do you want to do that job? We can't keep our city green. We can't build houses unless some people get their hands dirty. I know that there will be architects, there will be people who will do design in the office. But the real work is in places where you get your hands dirty. Food processing is where you are going to get your hands dirty. You can't make chocolate without popping cocoa and mixing it. So we must understand what this nation really needs before we begin to go forward. Then we must define also unemployment and underemployment. I see some graduates who control fleets of buses and they still say, well, I'm a graduate, you know, I'm unemployed. But he already has 3-4 fleets of buses or 5 taxis, and he's a transport business owner, but his mind is still in the university. And we must begin to decompose those notions. So, and what does our nation need? We need to build roads and so on and so forth. We need to grow food. So, to your question, therefore, one of the things we've done is that we have trained graduates who we see have acquired skills in a particular area, but they are unemployable because that area of work does not require employment. So we've done a program called skill conversion and employability training. We've put some people into internships so that they can gain experience and then become employable. I've been doing that in partnership with a group called the After School Graduate Development Center for the last 4 years. And it's put a lot of people through work. We've converted some people, graduates in mathematics and so on, into teachers in our schools because we were looking for mathematics teachers. We've converted some of them into science teachers for biology and maths, but they didn't go through school to become teachers. But we put them through teacher training courses. And so these are the flexibilities that I expect to see as we go forward. So a mindset change, and we want to know how many people we are. Before I leave that point, let me just go back quickly to the point of agriculture and to say that the agricultural value chain for me has many phases. First, the farm, where people do real manual work, planting and harvesting, and also through mechanized farming. But what happens to the farm produce, cotton and all of that? It ends up in factories, so they become sheds like this. From the factories, so in the factory again, that's the second chain of employment. From the factories, they move to your malls, the ShopRite, the Tejo shows, the Alaba markets. Again, it engages people in buying and selling, and the bottom line always is profit and money. But from there, waste produce, your corn, your maize, your beans, ends up on the shelf as baked beans or as cornflakes. But it has passed through the farm and the factory to the shelf. At the end of the day, some of it becomes waste. You know what happens? Somebody has to move that waste. So you have people investing in waste management, and it gets to the dump site. somebody also has to keep those dump sites going. Otherwise, they will collapse.
Yep.
And we need to recycle, we need to renew. And that's why I find it offensive that we are talking about unemployment, because we have too much to do.